How amazing is that? So hi, I'm Antique and I'm down at Peckham. I'm here with I Am and they are presenting a panel discussion, a ladies who brunch, and yeah, there's lots of people, good vibes. It's down in Peckham at It's a Vibe, so watch this space.
Hi, I'm Shan and I am the founder of I Am, the Empowerment Programme. The programme is about empowering young people and adults through workshops for self-esteem, social skills and mentoring. We are at Ladies Who Brunch With. It's Saturday 12th of October. Stay tuned, it's going to be a good one. He's professional.
I know.
Yeah, he's ready. Thank you. Thank you all so much for coming to today's brunch. It is Ladies Who Brunch With. I am Shan, only about men. And it said, he won't commit. What does it mean? I didn't
I think what it can be is that sometimes, as a man, you're trying to, let's get some that's, you're trying to decipher if this person is really right for you by making sure you go through certain things before you make that commitment. So you want to see how maybe they react to certain things. You want to see them in a comprehensive and holistic way as what a partner would be before you, I guess, dive into what would be the finality of a committed relationship. So I don't always think that because he's not committing, that he doesn't want you. Actually, maybe what you're doing is trying to understand if this is actually going to be something that can go long time.
But how long does that take?
I was about to say,
How long is that?
That's as long as it needs. It's on you to decide whether you're gonna hang around or not.
But what if you ruin your relationship by doing that testing?
That's on you.
Why don't you have
That's
communication?
All right, I'll speak from like you were saying, a personal point of view. So with my ex-partner, I would say I committed very early, and the moment I committed, suddenly things changed. Yeah? Current partner, who's now my fiance, I didn't commit. I knew at that time I could not commit to her. Not for reasons because of who she was or who I was, but it was just personal. I knew that I couldn't commit to her at that time. I didn't want to make that commitment at the potential of damaging that relationship by committing and then suddenly it's not.
We can keep on speaking about time frames and things of that nature. How long is this? What's it saying? How long is a piece of string?
yeah.
I don't know. But I think that throughout that journey, what is absolutely key is transparency.
So do you think then that, we're going into the submission part, that your partner, when you're in the relationship, should be submissive? And it could be the male or female, it's not necessarily always the
The line between the submission and the compromise. What I consider to be compromising, you may think is not. I think that's what he's signing up to, that's his portion, and vice versa. I guess based on the fact that my determination of submission and compromise is going to be different from another person's, then I guess yes, there does have to be an element of submission in a relationship, that it's something that grows, because you know you're stuck in your ways before a relationship. And you do your thing the way you want to do your thing, you go about your business the way you want to go about it. I learned that it will eventually be a thing of where you meet each other in the middle. And when you're at that middle point, you'll get a sense of, is this right for me, or do I feel like I'm compromising a bit too much, aka being more submissive, and then like that.
I think submission as a word, as a concept, is very problematic. I think straight away submission notes and also denotes that there's some sort of power struggle or some sort of power dynamic. So therefore we're straight away assigning the power to a person in a relationship. I don't believe that any one person should be more powerful than another. I'm very happy to compromise for my woman. I know I would like for my woman to compromise for me. I don't need her to be submissive. I don't need to be submissive to her. So I think submission is very problematic as a term and as a concept. I think compromise is the word that we should use. Compromise, understanding, and empathy is what you need in regards to that situation, as opposed to submission or submission. I don't think that, for me, it's redundant. I wouldn't even try to bring that into my relationship. I wouldn't even bring that word in. And I'm Muslim as well, and some Muslims believe that you should submit
Which
to
is
a
what,
man.
that's what I was going to say. A lot of people have said submission is dependent on cultural values and traditional values, as well as religion and faith and where you are. Said it's about, while you're getting to that point where you're debating whether you're ready, you are transparent, you are compromising, and then when you do get there, it's uniformed. It's everyone knows where they're at, because the worst thing is jumping into something and then believing something and it's not actually true. And I think what happens with a lot of new relationships is that everyone's excited, it's new, you've got the butterflies, you're going out, you've got the dates, it's all, and then you both sign up for too much.
I need to hear what it is straight. And the thing is, I'm going to give it to you straight also. So do me the favour and do it back to me, because don't waste my time.
But the thing is, see me, I got thick skin, so I can take it straight.
Oh, so that was my next part. Do you know what?
Yeah.
That was actually my next part. Before Esko got talking, I was going to say, how do you like it? How do you want somebody to come to you and tell you perhaps something that's going on that they need more work on or whatever else?
I don't mind it, but the thing is,
You don't mind it?
I realise that I can take things, but I also realise not everyone's like me.
But what if somebody comes
One moment, Jay. One minute. I mean, there's that aspect also. Or there's also the aspect of, okay, so you like it straight, and too
I didn't say I like it, but I can take it straight.
okay, so you can take it straight, but too often women are given this softy, beat around the bush. I'm not going to tell her, but actually they're not getting the message because you're doing all around the bushes. Well, you don't like me, it's cool.
I think to make my point digestible, we're all going to speak about being mindful of the other person. There's many different types of women out there. There's many different types of men out there. Well, what about you?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking ultimately, I'm operating out of a place of love. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody, but ultimately, I have to do what's right for me.
And that's what we don't do enough.
And again, so many times I'm hearing everybody speak around the room and it's about the other person, Well, you know what? I'm not selfish, but I am selfish.
Just like when we're talking about submission and compromise, there's a level of jealousy that's acceptable, and then it grows, and then it starts being acceptable depending on the person's involved, and then we've got a bit where it's like, cling on, stage 5, this is a bit too much in something. But is jealousy healthy in a relationship? What's your perspective?
Again, I'm gonna leave the rope out to be hanged again, like with the submissive line. Jealousy. I guess the answer that everybody would gear towards is no, it's not healthy, etc., etc., this, that, and the other. But I've heard from every single one of my brethren and colleagues and that, because in the DJ circuit is a very male-orientated kind of scene and whatnot, that nobody wants a girl that nobody likes.
Right.
Like, it's a very common phrase that's used. Nobody wants a girl that nobody likes.
I've heard that.
So, with that being said, if other guys are going to find your woman attractive and she's going to get a bit of attention as a result of that, then you can't necessarily complain about any of the attention that comes her way, or that jealousy argument. It kind of it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not a jealous person though, to be honest. So jealousy is not really something that it doesn't really cause any issues, because I think personally the reason why jealousy is a real I can't really weigh in on it too tough is because I think personally if you're gonna act out on anything that you feel for the next guy, you're an idiot. Because what I'm bringing to your table, I don't know what the next man's bringing to the table, but it's not this. So if you want to go and entertain any of that, I ain't got time to be jealous. I'm going to be like, cool, live your best life, you're not my portion anymore, and I'm moving forward. That's it, really.
I think that's a personality type in terms of there are some people that have that confidence. I would say for me personally, that a lot of that you might find comes from the person that raised you. Like the way that you were raised, about having that inner confidence to know that if somebody doesn't want you, then you will be okay and you can move on. Not everybody has that foundation, that they have parents that have instilled that in them, so that they're not crying on the bathroom floor when a man's leaving them. They just dry out and move on. And say women in their circles, we say those things too. So, the fact is, if you are with somebody, no one in my opinion, and in my group's opinion, want something that no one else wants. So it's not just a thing that guys say about women, it works the other way around.
Each and every one has got jealousy in us. Right? We've all got it in us, but it's what we let it rise to. What we let the jealousy rise to, because scenario, you got a nice man. Two women are friends, or two men are friends, got a nice man, right? The woman is your friend. You go and have your girly chat. Well, you know, last night, right? And then your friends go, really? Oh, I'm so happy for you, oh, this and that. And that time, it's killing her. Her jealousy is just going.
Friends.
No, we are not. That is so dangerous.
It is, and it's not, when I've said it in relationships, it's not just man and woman, it is actually friendships.
Yeah.
So it happens in workplaces. Workplaces. It can happen just in the supermarket. You could be in just a tracksuit and someone's just literally just jealous of the energy you've got, and you're thinking, why are you clipping and it's just literally you think to yourself, I don't even know you, I don't state, this is a one, this is nothing, this is shocking.
My main concern is when you're just innocently walking with your man in the supermarket or whatever, and women are looking at you and you're wondering if you stole their man. Like, the way they're just looking like it's a problem that you're happy and you've got nice energy.
Is the real problem them looking or him looking back?
But
I'm intrigued to know what would be more of the problem.
But I always am quite concerned by that, because I'm almost like, really? You know,
What is it?
When I'm walking, there's times my head's down, there's times my head's up. Sometimes I'm looking, I might know somebody. I'm one who walk past people a lot and be like, hey, you don't see. So certain times I might just flash a look, and it just so happens as I looked around, you and your man bust the corner. Now I'm looking at your man. I'm pretty sure I was looking at the milk and the stuff like that. What's that? Is that yellow stickers? Let me go. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really looking at this. But it happened exactly. You know, I turn around, someone bust the corner, and the look that she's giving me, I must have had on her knickers. Must have. And I never gave them back. I don't know.
I'm sorry, but does that happen a lot?
What the
Around the group, like, if you're in a relationship, do you genuinely see other women looking at you?
No,
And your man,
I don't.
So what, if it's something I've seen another guy with his girl, I make an effort to definitely respect the situation. You know why? Because I don't like it. That's me.
Well, this is it. And there's that standard. So the majority of us, all of us, I would believe, will be like that. Would have no problem seeing one of us come with our partner and not feel. But there are also the thirsty ones, male and female, that will see your other, whether you're with them or not.
So what's this thirsty?
So it's the current term for those that will take any opportunity to do something, to, you know, just dip in a toe and, you know, see where they can go with it. And that's where I'm talking about. And that is the type of jealousy that can actually infiltrate, and if you don't have the transparency and the compromise and it can actually affect stuff. And sometimes it's, as you said, it could be friends, you know, I've experienced it in all of it. I get it mostly at work.
It also comes down to your partner's response to that as well. Because I think sometimes that will then fit whether no matter how secure you are. If your partner feeds into that, I do think that will have a knock-on effect as well.
In the sense of how do we know when something like jealousy, a level of jealousy from your partner? I mean, I know, but I just kind of.
I think generally what you have to
discuss this. Like in sorry.
I'm engaged.
Okay, cool. So, for example, where do you draw the line if a woman is expressing jealousy in an unhealthy way, or where do you draw the line if a male is expressing jealousy in an unhealthy way? Like, and how do you kind of pull back from that? You know, like, I think that's.
I think it is both of our roles in a relationship to make sure that the person doesn't feel jealous, and that comes from, as you said, the trust. And I guess also from not doing anything that abuses that trust. Where I've had jealousy in relationships is because I've done something that I shouldn't have done that abused that trust. And that's where the jealousy.
Many years ago.
In my younger years. So I think that's what it is. It's about making sure that me as a man, perspective, I don't do anything that makes you feel like there's any reason for you to ever be jealous.
Say she's got she wants the money, the fame, but she's still not a football player. So is she settling, or is that a standard? Is that a standard that, you know, once you get there, you can then lust for something else, and you want more and more? And
could that be about her thinking that because I've got this basketball husband, people think, oh yeah, if I'm going to be there, I'm going to have the money, I'm going to have everything, then I'm going to be all right. But then that's the thing about thinking that money brings everything else and spend. Do you see what I mean? So I think that's about, it's the inner you that needs to be secure before you deal with everything else.
Within herself.
That's an internal job.
Don't that feed into what happened with that guy? What's he called? Something Stephen Curry?
Her thing was, and
what? Sorry, I didn't. What was it?
I never thought that this would come in handy, but I know. She went on that red table talk or something, and she said that although she's with this superstar basketball player and everything's hunky-dory and whatnot, she still misses the attention that she was getting previously from males.
Men don't show her. They don't.
But I was like, hold on, if your babes is making you feel something like good about yourself, you're not going to worry about any other girl that's throwing themselves at you, because he's going to be like, babes, no, like, I've picked that. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like everyone, there's an element, you want to be desired and you want that attention, like it's natural in people, and it comes back to what we were saying about, you don't want someone who no one else wants. People also want to be wanted by people they don't want. You know what I'm saying? So I think it just comes back to that, like, even if you're happy with your relationship, like, if a guy walks past and he prees you for like 2 seconds, it's like, ooh, like, you know what I'm saying? If a girl prees you, it's like, I'm saying, even if you don't want them, it's just like, I've got, like,
you still got it.
I think there's an element of,
You're not getting it from your partner in the first place.
no, because I don't think it's a thing of you feeling. I don't think it's a thing of.
Yes, it is. That's what I.
Guys.
You want that so that you can be pursued. It's just like, I don't know. I think for guys probably it's more of an ego thing.
No, for girls too.
For girls, probably the same sort of thing. And I think if we're being real, if someone's treating you, you're just like, alright.
Depends on who it is.
Like it's a little shoulder shake. Yeah, like it's just that a little head turn, you know. So I think that's what it is with her. That's what I think it is with her.
I think it's just swings and roundabouts with it, like in the sense of nobody wants to be with anyone that nobody else wants to be with, but at the same time, if you've got someone that's very attractive, then you have to kind of part and parcel, be prepared that, you know. For me, if I'm out and about and somebody comes to check me or whatever, you do get a little boost, but don't make it, that doesn't define my self-worth in that sense. You know, it does give me a little boost, but I can look at myself in a shop window and say, yourself. So that was it.
No one wants someone who no one else wants. But you know, you've got people that are name brand and they're in the limelight. So I've got lots of friends, guy friends that are in the limelight. And sometimes I find it difficult that I've known this man for years and I go up and do the same embrace I would do in front of his mum, his dad, his children, everybody. And the woman's standing up there looking at me like, what the hell? But you can't put that on me if your man makes you feel like that.
Right.
Do you see what I mean?
To be a woman at this point? Does it mean to be gentle? Does it mean to be this fairness or whatever else? Why is it not that a guy can't be gentle? I've met men that are so gentle, that are so fair, that are so this and so that. My first question is, what does it mean? What is your, not yours, but societally speaking, what does it mean to be a woman? And what are you expecting of me? And what is it that you're going to also incorporate into this situation? This brings me back to a thing that once I had done a post, and this guy had come into my DMs and he was like, don't you think that women are losing these traditional values of what it means to be a woman? And I said, oh, interesting. So actually he was coming to attack me, but I said, oh, interesting. So what do you think means to be a good woman? And he said, oh, I know what it means to be a good husband, and therefore you should know what it means to be a good woman. I was like, okay. So do you want to shed some light on that? He goes, yeah. So I've got a relationship, or a past relationship actually at this point. And he said, I had this girlfriend, or long-term partner actually. I had this girlfriend, and one day I decided to put her to the test. And so he goes, I decided I was going to cook and see what she's going to do about this situation. So he said she was in the front room laughing, drinking, and he felt furious by this. He was so mad that she's in there and he's cutting onion. And it was like, "Wow, what's going on?" You know? And I said, "Oh, that's interesting. What do you feel about that?" He said, "I was angry. She should have been in the kitchen. She should have been doing this. She should have been doing that." And I said, "That's super interesting because, do you know what? Societally speaking, the roles are reversed. So whilst you're mad at her for being what she was being, basically being you, on the other foot, you're super mad." And the thing is, he was like, "Oh, nah, she just hates herself. She hates that she's a woman." And I was like, "No, that doesn't make no sense. You hate that she's a woman. You hate."
That's a red flag though.
Yes,
he's a
definitely
red flag. Right.
But his ideas, societally speaking, his ideas is that she should have been there. But what the thing is about this is that he didn't realise what he was saying. And the thing is that he was saying, actually, she should have been there, she should have been doing that, and I would have liked that a lot better. I hate that she's doing what I should be doing.
But then that's kind of
So
him more than anything else.
it is him more than anything else, but actually his view is more to none, actually. Do you know what I mean? If we think about what goes on, it's more to none. You know, I've been doing dating. I've had long-term relationships. My longest was over 8 years, and actually, this idea of, "Oh no, you should be doing this. You should be doing that." The thing is, but if you're going to go out and work, if you're going to go and bring me the cash or whatever, and we're going to raise these children, I am so happy to do so.
Yeah.
But respect what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I think that's where the mindset can sometimes be imbalanced because people expect the woman to do that, to be at home and not complain about it, and to be, because in my job I speak to some of the younger boys and I say to them, you know, about girlfriends and girls and everything else, and their take on it is literally of, "Well, when I've got peas, all I need is my money and a fit girl, and then I'll just buy her what she wants, and she just have to settle." And I'm like, but suppose she wants to go and do something, and she wants, she can go and make a bit of money, but she needs to make sure that she's back because I want my food. And these are 50, 60-year-old boys, and sometimes younger, and you have to kind of think, well, wow, where's that mindset come from? Because they're in a generation that is, they're millennials, you know, everything's at their fingertips, but they're still operating on a mindset of 1930s, you know, where men went out and the woman stayed home and kept house, and you know, so it's kind of like, where is that coming? But then again, it's coming from within and it's coming from foundation. You know?
I don't mind that whole situation. If this is a partnership, if this is my role, respect what I'm doing, and please believe I'm going to put you up to do everything.
Is it fair, and this is for all three of you, a man is established. We'll use a man. A man is established. He's, you know, he's worked hard. He's at a good place in his life. Is it fair for him to then want a woman who is just as driven to goals and establishing herself? What do you guys think?
Do you mean being in the same place as him?
Not in the same place, not necessarily in the same place, but someone that's got the goal. She's driving towards something. She speaks of something with passion and ambition, of something that she wants to do. Is it fair that he should go for a woman like that as he's established himself and he's worked hard, and you know, or do you think that he's at a point where he can kind of lay back and look after a woman? When I say look after a woman, accept a woman that doesn't really have that drive and just, you know, is quite complacent.
I think to me that drive is attractive.
Yeah.
That would be something that's attractive to us.
Yeah.
But a good person is a good person, and if a person is compatible with me, she doesn't need to. Because my drive is mad. Like,
right.
You know,
Yeah.
20 years, and like I probably move in certain ways that many people can't. Because I'm just that hungry to always make sure I achieve more. So if she's not on the same empirical level, then it's not a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
But if she is a compatible partner for me and someone who brings something to my life and just ultimately this complements me, not complements me, but complements me as a person.
Yeah.
As a person, that's neither here nor there with me. Like, a great person is a great person.
I like that. Any way?
Likewise, I think what Pam said plays a lot of significance in it. It's just if she has to drive and whatnot, then I guess you have a lot of things to compare the market.com on. And if she doesn't, then if she's bringing something else to the table, i.e., you've ironed out a plan of where she's going to look after things at home, which is a traditional mindset or whatever. But if you feel like that works for you, then I think it's a major key for the guy to respect that. Because this is my home that you're looking after. It's a major role.
That's a major role.
It shouldn't be belittled because I'm out there achieving this and achieving that and making it happen outside. I can't do it if my foundation wasn't correct. So if you're sorting out my foundation, then in a lot of ways, for me personally, I kind of would probably respect that more because you're in a lot of ways you're sacrificing what you could be doing for our collective.
I asked the question because I asked them a few, I would say sort of early teens, late teens, early 20s. I asked them a similar question and a lot of them were like, they feel that they're like you guys, they don't mind if they're the one that's driving, if they're the one that's doing the stuff and she's there and she's got their back, because they feel like when they come home from all of that, there's someone there that's rubbing their back, there's someone there that's, they got a voice, they got someone to talk to, someone giving them that drive and saying, yeah, you got this, you can do this. But what the girl said was, they don't want to be the ones that do all of that, it's established, and then he's gone. Because he's established and he feels he's got more to, he's going to go now because, alright, I know you was, think kind of like waiting to excel but not as extreme, but that kind of thing of, you built up together, drive together, and then he's got to a point and he's gone. And it goes women and men, because there was one girl that said, well actually, if he doesn't drive and he's not working and he's not got a degree or going for something with like some sort of kind of education wise, then I'm not interested because I don't want no bum man. But I said, but supposing he's not got a degree, but he's not driving yet, and he's working towards something, and he's invested in something, and he's doing something, and he does get there, then what? She said, well, when we'll meet up 20 years time.
She's honest.
She was honest, and I had to respect that, because that necessarily, she's not actually saying nothing bad. And I think it goes back to the point someone said earlier, we always worry about, I think you said it, Aaron, we always worry about, being gentle in the other person, but actually she's in a place and her mindset is that I'm here, and you're a great guy and whatever else, but you know what, your thing, what you bring to the table right now is not for me, so I'm going to go and sit here, but you're good and we're good and I hope all goes well. That doesn't mean that she's a bad person, and I think that she felt in the group that she was bad for having that opinion, and that's society and the influences that saying to her, well no, you should help him and everything else. But on the flip side of that, she could have stayed and helped him.
What if she was much more successful than you?
That's the one that I think that a lot of guys have a problem with. That's when I tend to find that there's an issue.
Right.
When she's the driving force, or she makes it happen. And
like, I just want to know what that sounds like to you. What that sounds like to you.
I mean, if that was the case within my relationship, then she would have to respect. Then she would have to respect the fact that
respect what it is that you're doing.
Exactly, and the roles just reverse me. If I am the same type of person that I am, I'm still going to have my goals and my ambitions and things that I want to achieve. And as long as we can, compromise and sort out a way of making it happen, then by all means, go with it.
Yeah.
What if she's not there 5 days a week?
I can cook.
Nice.
So I come from a single parent. So one of the main things that my mum was instilled into me was don't want a woman to so that she can mother you and things of that nature. I have a mother. I'm good with that. So if I can't cook something, then Deliveroo's about.
That we are in a day and age now that we can create our own achievements and our own job roles and stuff like that. So we shouldn't be in arguments with our partner for those kind of things. They're so minor. It gets to a stage where it is about the trust, but without anything else, and then you just go from there. But you can make your own kind of job roles. Why are you going to be arguing with someone? You can catch up with that person just as far as they are. So yeah, it's all a mindset really.
I just want to know from the guys in the room, like, why is it an issue for many of them about being with a woman who is successful? Or why do some guys, maybe not them themselves, but why do they have an issue with a successful black woman, or black or white, and they can't deal with the fact that she's successful and they are the ones that are the underdogs or what have you, but yet it's acceptable when it's the other way around?
For me, that situation is amazing because it means that she's going to be someone who's going to make me even hungrier. Like, you know what I mean? Just seeing her fly, I'm like, oh, she's flying, what is it flying to? You know what I mean? Like, I need to go even harder. So for me, it's not, oh my God, I'm doing less than that. It's like, yeah, you're doing good, babes. You do my thing as well.
Yes,
Like,
but you're a good guy, Aaron. The reality of the situation is there's a lot of brothers out there that's not like that. I personally think that what they struggle with is how society sees the relationship. So because the outside see the relationship as raw, you're always doing bits and you're not. They take that viewpoint on that raw.
Oh, that's self-insecurity.
Of course it is.
But that is the thing. Go on.
Sorry, I'm just itching that societal pressure is very real, you know, because like you said, it's how society sees it, so they're going to see it as, oh, she's wearing the trousers, yeah? What are you doing? You're cooking on a stove at home, you're doing dinner. Like,
no, a man like us would say, I'm wearing the tracksuit bottom. You know what I mean?
That's how you'll see it, but there's a lot of men, and because of how society, vast majority of society will portray that situation as something that's negative for a man to be in. Therefore, you need to go for a woman that is maybe lesser. Do you know what I mean? So that you feel more masculine.
So it is insecurity within yourself. Yeah, you can't blame anyone else. Lorraine?
No, what I wanted to say though, in terms of what you're saying is around someone who's successful and is a high achiever, I think that's down to an individual, because what someone sees as successful is different to everybody else. But it goes back to what you value. So someone's role title was employment and how much money they earn does not create the quality of a person that you need to be with. And I think that's what people sometimes forget. So there are examples of, I know people that their husbands are the ones that are the homemakers, and they go out and they do the work, and it works. It works for them. No one looks at him anyway. Everyone's glad to go there and eat his food because he cooks really good. He actually cooks better than his woman, and everyone's really happy. So it works in that setting, and I know the other way around. But again, I think sometimes we put too much value on what someone does. What you do does not make the man. And then going also back to the point around the society in terms of male and role models. I was brought up in a household where it was, woman do this, man do that. And I was very much the breaking of the mold, because I had to ask my mum, do you need me to wash plates? So again, no, I had to say one day, do you need me to wash plates? Because what you're doing is creating sons that can't do anything for themselves, and they will be reliant on somebody else, and you mustn't do that as a parent. Do you see what I mean? So it's just very sad that you're hearing that now from the young people in terms of that's what they think. So then I think that's about the images that they're getting and they're exposed to now. They're looking at the thing, everybody on the limelight and all these superstars and all these things, they're bling bling, and their girls are just sitting down like this and looking pretty. That's what they think is real. That's not real life. Most of the people that you're walking out on the street, they don't look like that and they don't have that. And I think sometimes it's just about, let's get back to reality and what's real.
Basically, I think another aspect to this argument is the fact of what people are actually chasing, what they feel like they must live up to. So, for example, you have some people that everything, when them shit, when them go shop, when them sleep, when them wake up, everything they're on Facebook, everything they're on Instagram. So all of a sudden, if you sit at your stable in that kind of way, you feel like this is something you constantly have to live up to. Especially when you then bring your partner into the fold. Some people are very much like that about themselves, and all you see is themselves, and maybe one and two times you might catch their partner or something like that. Then you have others where everything is up on the ground. So if you sit at your stable that way, and life then gives you a kick up the arse, what do you do about the ground that you feel like you have to live up to? You know, especially with these younger ones, these teenagers moving into the early 20s, you know, the mid-20s, where social media is a major part of their life. It is just as big as when the mobile phone first bust in the early 90s. And everybody, all of a sudden, it was just accessible and it seemed cool to have a phone at that time. It's the same way how social media has these I see it has these teenagers grip now. Now when you got social media accounts and all of a sudden you create one page and you're global, that whole, it changes we're going beyond society now in many ways. You know, it's okay, society becomes much more than just your school, than your little hangout, your little bridges, then when you go and check.
Yeah.
Society is now that person way over yonder across the waters who's seeing your image and who's making comment, and you feel like you have to respond. It's almost become ingrained in terms of the way now children are growing up now. So I think that's another major aspect of the way now people actually view themselves, how they actually then go on and have further relationships with other people. You have many people that grow up, they can't sit down and have a conversation. You chat to them over the phone and the conversation's flowing, everything's flying. You meet them in person and it's you know, but you meet them in person and it's like they struggle. They have nothing to say, they have no people skills. Because everything's social media, the gram. It's what you're living up to, what you feel like you have to live up to. Because of the day and age that we're in. Because you check any of you guys secondary school, any one of them now have no phone now. What does that look like to them? All of a sudden, oh, I need a phone, I need to at least be able to do something.
From primary school, there's
and this is what I'm saying. Now we're in primary school and we're talking about phones in primary school. Where you go back at least 20-25 years, that was almost freaking unheard of. Telling you that. So I think there's just different layers and aspects now.
Something that we haven't actually spoken about at all as a group, like social media has actually changed the dynamic of relationships completely. Like, I know there's certain guys celebrating right now because Instagram took away the
follow thing.
I had a man celebrating yesterday because basically on Instagram, if you go on following, well before if you go on following, you can see what someone is liking and who they're following. Instagram is now taking that away, so a lot of females, I'm not sure to say that, a lot of some females were using that as a way to kind of keep a tab on what their man was doing online, who they
so
like.
now you can't see who's
but now you can't see, and it's certain man who are celebrating that fact because now they can like what they like.
Your followers, so I can't go
But liking and following causes a lot of problems in contemporary relationships right now. So it's a very important point that you made. Not just the problems like that, but also in terms of the expectancy and the things of having to live up to. It's a massive, massive thing.
And you find that a lot of people play out their relationships, like you said, they will put up their partners or partner, whatever, but then when it falls, they're not posting anymore, and then they're putting up the cryptic ones, like, you know, a good woman, you can't take, and it gets, those ones, you know, and then it's all go, and then suddenly they're deleted, and then it's a new thing, and you're like, hold on, whoa, what happened to Tom? Like, or what happened to Jane? Like, you kind of, and you're saying, wait, when did that? And then it's like, oh yeah, because love is this, and you're like, oh, we're on that bit. But the young people especially follow that because a lot of so-called celebrities that they follow do that. A lot of them play out relationships and stuff on the gram and things like that. So I think they feel that they have to follow that in order to be, it's like you said, to be seen and liked.
In terms of going back to what you were saying, I feel that when you say why men are intimidated, I guess if you want to go back into history, we had never seen women at a high power, at a high status. So it's going back into history. You always see, oh, the men are the dominating one. The men lead the pack to wherever we go, right? So I kind of see, like, if we would have, you know, shown women doing more, because of course women did a lot back in the days, right? So if we would have shown women doing more in history, us as, you know, us younger generation, millennial generation, and before and after would be okay. Women are capable of being great, doing positive things and stuff like that. So that's why, to go back on what you were saying. And in terms of my question would be like, how do you educate like the youth now, like you and men in general? Because it seems like even in America, it's the same problem. Like men feel like, oh, because I go to work, I bring in the money, the woman has to be at home, whatever. It's like they're stuck in the gender role kind of pretty much. There's no like what's the word? There's no compromise. So I have my question is like, as women here, how do you guys feel like you can, like, you know, educate men more to be more
Do you know what? I'm so excited to just jump in. I'm so excited because in history, women were doing so much more. Women were out there hunting. Like, guys, they were doing this. They were out there hunting, they were out there cooking, they were out there looking after the kids. And these guys, I don't know what they were doing, right? Or as historians of that time, basically, guys, because I'm really interested in like the history of culture, society, and education. I know a little bit about this. But as historians, these were men, and I'll be honest as well, they were white men, and they were white men saying, all right, this is what we're going to say about history, and we're not going to portray about what these women were getting up to, and all of the hard work that they were doing. Yes. That's what it is, and that's why we don't know why what women were doing and not doing, and they were so undervalued, because
they were dressed as men.
Oh, but there we go. The thing is that they were working so hard, and they were not seen for it. And so to bring it back to the social media aspect as well, we have this idea, and we are just playing out microcosms of the macrocosm of what is happening. And that is that we have these ideas, these societal ideas of what originated from white men, to now what's going on. This is what women should be doing, and this is their undervalued position, etc., etc., etc. And really and truly, I don't know if I'm wrapping this up very well, but basically my point that I think I'm trying to get to is actually, if we take it back to who was giving us this information in the beginning, then we'd find out why it is that we have the information that we have today.
Yes. I was going to say something pretty similar to what you're saying, because obviously you know, Shan, I'm a history teacher. So I feel like a lot of these issues, if you're talking about like gender roles, it's similar to like when we look at black history. It's all about exposure, you know what I'm saying? And you need to expose them from a young age about what really has happened, what really is happening. Like again, like I said, I'm a history teacher, so when I'm teaching about certain kings, the kids need to know that he had a queen that built his empire for him. Do you know what I'm saying? So it starts with education in schools. It's exposure as well, because when you look at, like, again, I'm talking from my experience in school, senior leadership is mainly men. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there needs to be exposure to what women are doing. There needs to be exposure to what women have done in the past, and also, again, I also believe it starts with the home as well, and like how the woman is reflected in the home, how the woman is treated in the home. Like, I've got a close relationship with my mom, so I have nothing but respect for women. Like, if you ask me, women are superior to men, like from what they can do. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in a room full of women, but because I've seen what my mom's done. You know what I'm saying? So it's about exposure and just appreciating what. And again, it's like we said, it all tracks back to history and how you've been educated about it.
And you say you're millennial? And I'm the mother of two boys. One's 21 and one's 17. And I found my roles change slightly, thank you, in the last few years because my son has now had a son. So for many years I played the wife role and I played it very well and did everything. But now that my son's in a relationship, I found that my approach to him and telling him how to do things has changed, because I played the wife role, I did it very well, I cooked, I cleaned, you know, but then at the same time I don't want my son to expect that from his now partner. So my role towards him as mum has now changed, but for years he saw me doing the traditional role, but I want him to be able to cook for himself. I don't want him to depend on no woman. I try to, but now that he's in the relationship, I'm saying, come on, 50-50. You know, I don't want him to fall into that same subset of, so as you say, teaching millennials, I think we have to put aside what we've done as maybe partners and look at our young ones that up and come on to see if we can change that outset.
That's an interesting point, interesting point of what you said, because I think that my generation, those that grew up like teens in the 90s and stuff, we are the ones that have the children now, and I feel that some of us, we didn't get the best foundation. So what happened when we had our children, we were part of my generation was part of that boom where everyone was having kids at like 17, 18. It was a bit, oh my God, and I remember being in school and people were like, oh my God, right, and it was a big thing. And so I think what happened with some of them is that we weren't mothers, we were best friends. It's my little man, it's my little, and we dressed them in their nights and we did all that. And then as they've got older, we did the wife thing. And now they're at that point where they're in their mid-20s to their late teens. We're struggling with trying to say to them, you've got to do this yourself, you've got to do that yourself, you've got to become independent. And some of us haven't shown them, so they don't know. So we're telling them, but we've not shown them. And some people they're not academic in that sense, like in a setting of do this, Joan might get it, but Malika might not, because she's not academic, she's more kinesthetic, she's more doing. But you have to show them that way, and I think for you in my job I can see the parents that have shown them, and I can see the parents that have told them, and the ones that just don't bother. And I feel that my generation are part to blame for the recent things in knife crime. I won't go into that, but we haven't shown our children how to be children, to mature, to be young adults, to respect themselves, to value themselves. It comes back to the Black history. I mean, me and Dan, we when it comes to Black history, we've done it in a school, and it was crazy. They don't know anything, and you think, you know, even if your heritage is African or West Indian, teach them. Be proud of your island, your country. Show them this is where we're from. This is a king. And give them that foundation. So when they go into school, they're enhancing that rather than just learning, because that's what's expected now. You go into school and you'll get everything, and you come out and that's it. And we're not showing them how to morally do things. We're not being practical for things like cooking, cleaning. That's why I asked you, did you show him? And I feel that because we don't show them, we set them up in some ways to fail. And when their relationships go wrong or something goes wrong, we can't wholly blame them because did we show them, and maybe it's because we weren't shown. I don't know. Are we relying on schools and educated society to do that? You know, yeah.
I just actually feel like, right, boom, if there was really a book, and if anybody actually knew 100% what it was, then that person would be the billionaire, the richest person on the planet. The fact of the matter is, people will live life. And in life, you live, you learn, and you make mistakes. You know what I mean? But it's how you recover from those mistakes and how you move forward in your perception of that time. You know what I mean? How you see yourself. Then, you know, because I actually feel like, we're not doing this, we're not doing enough of this, we're not doing enough of this. Like, let's be real out here. Who is doing enough? Who is doing this?
Can you do it?
Who is doing that? Point me and show me the person. Are they accessible to me? Are they thousands of miles across the face of the earth where I can't reach them? I can't get to them. You only have to tell me about them and I show them a picture. Sometimes that ain't enough, man.
Can I just say something? Can I just add to that? Like, my dad's from Ghana, yeah? Like, my neighbour always says to me, how come you always meet men that can cook? Because to me, a man that can't cook, like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. Because my dad is from Ghana. I don't know if this played a part because where he's from, but my dad, it's not a traditional thing. Like, in Ghana, the women are supposed to, like, cook and the men are supposed to carry things. But my dad, he knows how to cook. He was the cook in my household. So my dad always set a standard of me, like, man must cook. So I taught my son how to cook from when he was young. But because of the ages and the way society is, he just wants to eat fast food, fast. He wants everything fast. So I think that we can try to do all these things, but there's also pulling factors from outside that can influence the young people.
But you're still teaching the ability to do it.
Yeah.
That's the main teaching them to be able to do it. If they choose not to do it.
But whether they do it, it can be a bit tricky.
Okay, last point before we wrap up.
So my advice on like anyone that's trying to has a kid or something like that, you gotta pretty much teach them in the way of something that they like. Like for me, I grew up
relativity.
So for me, I grew up with a single mom, so pretty much like I like to eat, right? So if you like to eat, then you're gonna have to cook. So pretty much like for your son, you could like whatever he likes to eat, be like, oh, you want to eat this? Well, you're gonna have to cook this for yourself. And also like if you like nice clothes, you want your clothes to be clean, you're gonna have to wash them yourself. So that's kind of like.
It is one of the best ways to get through to them.
There's self-care things, but here's the thing, is that self-care boils down to love. And I realised about maybe a year or two ago, people have wishy-washy ideas of what love means. Love meant something different to this person, and love meant something different to that person. I was so confused. So I was like, wow, so this is why you don't love me, because you don't love me in the way that I need love. And then I also realised the way that I need love I am not even doing for myself. I was like, wow, okay, so I've got to start learning how to love myself before I can even love that person, before I can even be lovable to my children. And so after all of that, I started to learn that love wasn't this wishy-washy, fluffy, positive, nice stuff. I started to learn that love was also saying no. I started to learn that love said no to this toxic person. Love said, do you know what, that ain't good for you right now. Love said, I need to remove certain things from my environment in order to be the best person that I could be. Now, okay, I know you spoke about relationships, but for me personally, in the circumstance that I'm going to talk about, it meant coming out of my relationship. You know, and I mean, like, I've had fantastic long-term relationships, I've had fantastic short-term relationships, and also fantastic dating relationships. And that's because I've kind of learned a working definition of love for me. And take from it what you will. But for me, love has meant the extension of myself onto another, and vice versa, that is for the betterment of their spiritual, emotional, and physical well-being. And if that doesn't provide that, then that isn't love. Then that is the same for my children, for my best friend, and for my intimate partner. And so with my friends, if that isn't providing a certain type of growth for me, that's not my friends. If I am not providing that for my child, that's not love. And why is it any different with my intimate partner or for myself? And so I started to learn, okay, cool. So is it I don't know, the uncle, the auntie, the mother-in-law that's putting an input into my relationship that I need to say, you know what, that's not quite working because they're not here right now. They're not dealing with what we're dealing with. We need to remove that. Is it something that's very difficult as well because there's senses of shame and guilt about, why, is it a family member? Are they draining me? This is the idea of radiator and drainer. Is it somebody that's draining me? Is it somebody that's taking too much of me and not being reciprocal? Do I need to get rid of that? I don't know. Or do I need to work out a new boundary? But for me in my relationship, here's the shocker. One day I was talking to my daughter and I said, I was talking to her about, she had done a performance at a theatre, and I was talking to her about it, and I was talking about, you know, all of her womanhood that she's growing into and how proud she must be, and she said, that sounds good. And I was like, I want to smack her. But anyway, she said, that sounds good, Mum, but there isn't a single woman that I know that can really be a role model for this. Not even you. I was like, wow, I should smack you, innit? Because I teach you a lot. But she went wrong. Here I am teaching her all these different things about womanhood, society, whatever it is, and there wasn't a single woman that wasn't out there already sacrificing their own needs, their own livelihoods for every and anybody around themselves, but themselves. They weren't providing any of that for themselves. And she said, Mum, how can I be this woman? Not even you are doing that for yourself. And that's because in that circumstance, that personal circumstance at that time, I was already doing all this lovey-dovey, you know, I'm doing my nails, I'm doing my hair, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But there was a relationship that I had at that time that my daughter knew, even though I didn't speak to her about it, she knew that I wasn't being respected. And she said, wow, Mum, you ain't even doing that. I was shocked. I said, wow, I should smack your mouth. So you're not wrong. It took me 2 years to act on that. So when I say what I say, that's why I say, when I say what I say, it's your circumstance. You take it as you're the expert. It took me 2 years to act on what my own daughter said to me. And that's my end thing here. If you're not replenishing yourself, no one's going to do it for you. The work you put into yourself today is the work for yourself tomorrow. What are you building? That's my end sort of thing really. Sorry it's not 5 things. No, it's enough.
That segment's ended. We're going to do one last little game, and then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today for Ladies with Brunch with. Thank you to my guests Pam, Esko, and Aaron. This game is names the track. But when you say I know it, you have to then finish the lyrics in the same way that the artist would have done it. I'm going to read out the lyrics in my work voice deliberately so that you can't
come wide up.
Okay, so the first one is, people need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who could fulfill my needs. A lonely, you know it, Chelsea?
A lonely place to be, so I learned to depend on me.
And
I decided long ago there wasn't anyone.
Well done, Chelsea. Great job. Whitney Houston, greatest love of all. Step outside, summertime's in bloom. Stand up beside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face. Well done! This one is definitely going to be in the English place. From way back way, man have to shubby. Version them one gimme and me have to take tookie. No, Casey. Why? No, Casey. Hot girls out the road that said them simmy. Casey, don't give me the light. Same artist.
Do it again.
Well done. Alright, this one you should get. Mingle with the good people we meet, good friends we have, good friends we've lost along the way. In this great future, you can't forget your past, so dry your eyes. What song? Dry your eyes. Alright, next one. On the road doing tours like my toes. You men thought I froze. I see a pen girl, then I goes. She's not on it, I goes. Come on.
My son knows this one.
On the road, I'm just going to repeat it because if I say any more, you're going to get it really easily. On the road, those that work in the school should know.
J Hoss.
On the road, no, doing 10 tours like my toes. You know thought I froze. I see a pen girl, then I pose. If she's not on it, I ghost. Heart. Look at your nose. +2 is 4. Who is it? Thank you. The next one is, me realise turn off at one. It's a remix. The UK version. How it turn off at one. Them say them real, but we know them not real. Me realise turn off at one. Someone should know. What? Casey. Turn off at one.
Clearly I rave too much.
Oh, turn off at one. Them say real, and me, I read it really perfect. Me like them one still turn off at one. Do you need more clues? Now make them trick me and kill me. So what is it?
I ain't singing over.
What is it? Everyone? Oh, thank you, family. Alright, this one.
This is a good game, Shad.
Used to move like I've got nothing to lose. Mix the off-white with the goose. Roll like 10 of the goons.
Say it again.
Dan, you know it, don't you? No, you do. Used to move like I got nothing to lose. Mix the off-white with the goose. Rolling with like 10 of the goons. Money calling, money talking, trap phone ring ring, trap phone body bling bling. Hey, thank you, Tyrone. Thank you. Alright, last one. And whoever gets this has to do it exactly how it is. So, I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. Go on then. Wait, finish it then. Come on, Chelsea. Go. Come on.
The word. I don't know what it is.
It's yours.
That is the end of Guess the Lyrics. So, at this point,